Paul Harrell, weekdays from 4 to 6. Learn more at paulharrell.com.
All right, welcome back, Johnny Cash Friday. Hey, joining us now, had a little miscommunication, but joining us now, we do have Lieutenant Governor Tim Griffin is on the line from Pennsylvania, right, Tim?
Yeah, no miscommunication. I was just chatting there with you, and I called in. I was just reporting in, saying I'd heard y'all were talking about the release I put out there. I appreciate it. I'm up here for War College, and I'm coming home, and I am looking forward to getting to Arkansas. And so
good.
I got so homesick I had to go to the Cracker Barrel and get some veggies.
Hey, I just want to say I appreciate you calling in, number one. Number two, I appreciate your release today. From your website, you say, while I am appreciative of the Independent Citizens Commission proposal to raise my salary, I oppose it. What happened? I mean, obviously they had their announcement, but what kind of went into the reasoning of you now saying that you won't accept it even if they do recommend it?
Well, I'm glad you asked. I'm going to lay out all of this in more detail in a letter to the commission. I'm going to write it this weekend. But, in a nutshell, we hear that revenue and expenditures aren't lining up. We hear folks say, well, it's tight money we can't afford a tax cut. We hear, I had state employees saying, hey, we're not sure if we're going to get a merit bonus this year, which merit bonuses are good because they're based on merit.
Yeah.
And so there's all these priorities and pressures. And so I just believe in leading by example. In my office, my general motto is do more with less, serve more with less. So, we cut our budget by 16% as soon as I got into office. The old office, before I got there, used to have 4 or 5 staff. We've had a maximum of 2 staff since the day I got in office. And could we use more? Absolutely. Would I like to make more? Absolutely. But it's about it really is about saying what's our priority? What's our priority? And I think you got to lead by example. I think it is a matter of sending a message. It really is. It's about saying, look, I'm willing, not a ton of money, I get it, but it is what it is. But it's about saying, look, I am willing to work with fewer people in my office. I am willing to make less. I am willing to reduce my budget. Now that I've demonstrated I'm willing to do it, let's get to work. I just think it's a good overall policy. There's a book. I think I don't want to butcher the name here, but I think it is called Officers Eat Last.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think it's actually that's the Army version. I think it's Leaders Eat Last. But the general theme is when you are leading troops, you set the example. It's real simple stuff.
Yeah.
And I get that the lieutenant governor's not paid the most. I get that. I get that it's not hundreds of thousands of dollars. I get all that. I totally get that. But it is still significant in terms of sending a message and saying, look, don't tell me we don't have enough for tax relief. Don't tell me we don't have enough for this or that. If we're going to then go raise my salary, and I'm not speaking for anybody else. I'm only speaking for Tim. That's what I'm focused on.
Yeah, I mean,
other people have different issues, different personal situations, whatever. I'm talking about me and me alone.
Yeah.
And so, but I'm gonna lay a lot of that out in the letter. But it's real simple. It's not complicated.
Yeah, well, and we'll certainly be anticipating reading your letter. We're talking with Lieutenant Governor Tim Griffin. News today: he's not going to take his salary increase if the Independent Citizens Commission does, in fact, go through with what they decided this past Tuesday. I think it's great. We've got the book up on our screen right now, Leaders Eat Last, the Amazon page, why some teams pull together and others don't. I think this is just a matter of principle. You've outlined, that we need to hold the line on spending. You've outlined, I think, ideas behind limited government that I think Arkansas desperately needs. And so this kind of, it says that if you can do the small things, hey, we can do the big things.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly right. Again, no one is under the illusion that we're saving millions of dollars by me turning it down. But that's not the point. It's about demonstrating what our priorities are, and that's one way you do it is action. And so, in any event, again, I'm only talking about Tim Griffin. I'm not talking about anybody else. I don't know. Everybody's got their own personal situation and their own views. That's fine.
Yeah.
This is about my office. This is about me and what I believe is the right thing for me as I move forward. And, so anyway, I'll lay a lot of that out next week, and I appreciate the attention. I think you're right. I think the little things matter a lot. Because people not only are paying attention to the big things, they're paying attention to the little things.
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell you that soldiers see when they're treated differently for this reason or that reason. They're looking to the officers to see to see how they behave.
Yeah.
And how they conduct themselves. And so I just think it's for me personally, it's a good way to proceed. And anyway, I appreciate you giving it some attention.
Absolutely. I know you got to go, but hey, last question. So, how is War College, and is it hard?
The hardest thing it's a master's in strategic studies, so it's a lot of Thucydides and Clausewitz and a lot of the great military strategists. We toured Antietam today and had an instructor sort of walk us through Lee and Jackson and Meade and the different movements on the battlefield. So the hardest part is juggling all the other stuff that I do because most of it is sending stuff in, not being up here. You write papers and essays and things, you send them in or you submit them online or whatever, and you're in a small seminar of students, other lieutenant colonels and colonels from around the country, and it's a 2-year master's, but once each year we do 2 weeks of military duty at the War College. So that's what I'm in the middle of now. I finished after these 2 weeks. I'll be halfway through, so I have one more year, and I won't have to come back up here till next summer for graduation.
Lieutenant Governor Tim Griffin, it's always a pleasure, sir. I appreciate your stance for conservatism, and thanks for calling in.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you. Y'all take care, and I look forward to having my feet on the ground in Arkansas tonight.
All right. Awesome. Be safe, sir.
Take care. Bye-bye.
All righty. Folks, the telephone number, if you want to call us or text us today, 870-275-9799. That's